Everyone, we are going to have this third session of Surah Al Mulk today, and we are going to cover ayah number 3 of Surah Al Mulk with Tajweed in the first part of it. Okay, so but before discussing that ayah number 3 of Surah Al Mulk, I would like to share something with you with regards to some rules that we follow in Tajweed. Okay, so there are certain rules that we follow when we are reciting. So you see, I would not make you confused with the rules as for now, but I just want to put your attention to the rule for now. Okay, so there are like the rules of Noon Sakin and Tanween. I am going to tell you. Okay, so what is Noon Sakin? First of all, let me tell you this. So the Noon Sakin in Quran, you see that there is this letter Noon with a Sakin on it, with a jazm on it. This is also called Sakin, the symbol. This is also called jazm as well. So you see this letter comes many a times in this form. Okay, Noon, Noon letter with a Sakin on it. So what happens that whenever this noon sakin comes on any word, so there are like four possibilities how we say that word or how we say the noon letter. Okay, so whenever you see this noon sakin, okay, let me use this. Okay, so whenever you see the noon sakin, sometimes we hide the noon sakin in a word. How do we hide it? We say like this is a word here. For example, we rather than saying ankum, okay, there is a noon sakin here, right? Rather than saying ankum, we say ankum. Okay, so these are certain things that makes the beginner confused, that why we prolong the sound at certain points in Quran. Why do we make such sounds when we are reciting Quran, like or these sounds? So why do we say the sounds? There is a reason for that. So the noon sakin makes us do so. Okay, so sometimes this noon sakin, when this comes, we say the sound of it just as it is. Like there is this example of word written anhu. I am not saying anhu. I'm not hiding the sound of noon sakin here. Okay, sometimes we do not hide the sound of noon sakin. Okay, sometimes we hide the sound of noon sakin like ankum rather than ankum. Okay, and sometimes what we do is that we skip the sound of noon. Okay, we skip the sound of noon altogether. Rather than saying min rabbikum, we say mir rabbikum. Right, you cannot hear the sound of noon here. You cannot hear the n sound. Okay, I'm just joining the meme here with the raw. I'm saying mir rabbikum, and I'm not, I'm just skipping the sound of noon. And sometimes we also do this, that we change the sound of noon with meme letter. And rather than saying min ba'di, we say mim ba'di. Okay, we change the sound of min to mim. Okay, min to mim. Okay, mim ba'di. So you see that I wanted to put your attention towards the noon sakin, that whenever this noon sakin comes, you're automatically supposed to notice, you're automatically supposed to observe that which of the rules you are going to apply. So for now, I'm not going to tell you when you are supposed to hide the sound, when you're not supposed to hide the sound. As we will continue with the lessons, whenever such a word come, I will explain the rule to you. Okay, as for now, you need to just remember that whenever the noon sakin comes, you are supposed to just think of these four rules, like these four possibilities. Either you are supposed to say the sound as it is, either you're supposed to hide the sound of noon, or you can skip the sound of noon, or you can change the sound of noon to meme. Okay, so these are just the four ways. Also, as I mentioned here, that in the heading here, rules of noon, sakin, and tanween. So you would be wondering that, okay, we got this. We are supposed to put our attention towards the noon sakin letter, okay, whenever it comes. So what to do with this tanween? Why the rules? Why these four rules are common to the noon sakin and tanween? Okay, so you see that what is tanween first of all to the beginners? Okay, I'm just specifically pointing to the beginners that what is tanween. So tanween are these three symbols. Okay, these three kind of tanweens are there. The first tanween is like tanween of fatha, tanween of kasra, and tanween of dhamma. So tanween are like these two slanting line symbol above a letter, or these two slanting line symbols below a letter, or these curled line symbols, these two curled line symbols. Okay, curled symbols, or you can say like apostrophe kind of symbols on a letter. So these are the three kinds of tanween. So these tanween comes at the end of words. Okay, you see that in jannatan, tanween of fatha is at the end on letter ta. In sultanin, tanween of kasra is on letter noon. Okay, and here in kitabun, tanween of dhamma is letter on letter ba. So, see, you are also supposed to put your attention to the tanween as well. Okay, for in today's lesson, you are specifically going to see the noon sakin and these tanweens. Okay, so in tanween, what happens is that let me. Okay, so see, interestingly, this tanween has a noon sakin hidden in it. Okay, these three symbols I'm talking about, they have a noon sakin hidden in it. What was noon sakin? This was noon with sakin on it. So how is this noon sakin hidden in it? So let's take any letter. I'm going to take letter wow here. You can take any of your choice. I'm going to take letter wow here, and I'm going to put tanween on it. On the first possibility, I have placed the tanween above the letter tanween of fatha on waw. I have placed tanween of kasra below waw. I have placed this tanween of dhamma above the waw. So when we say the tanween, we say like wa do zabar, or like wa tanween one. Okay, wa, and this has tanween, we will say one. If this tanween is of kasra, we will say win. If this tanween is of dhamma, we say wun, right? These are the sounds that they produce. So if we write the tanween in this way, like WAN, or in Arabic alphabets, if we write this tanween by breaking it down in the sound, we will write it as wa fatha noon sakin, one. Wa fatha noon sakin, one. Wa kasra noon sakin, win. وضم نون ساكن won. So if I break the sound, this sound becomes like this. And yes, you see a noon sakin here, right? You can see a noon sakin in tanween as well. You can take different examples. I've written some words here, right? So just take this word, for example. This word is jannatan. It is ending with the tanween of fatha at the last letter, which is ta letter. Okay, if I break this sound and I write this sound as this, which is ta fatha noon tan. Okay, so at the end of jannatan, I have written it like this, and yes, you see a tanween, and yes, you see a noon sakin in this tanween, right? This noon sakin is hidden. You do not see the noon sakin here in the symbol, but yes, there you need to remember this, that tanween has this noon sakin hidden in it. Let's take this another example of sultanin. So sultanin. If we write this nin sound at the end, we will write it like this. Noon, kasra, noon, nin. And if you take the example of, dhamma tanween, kitabun, at the end on ba, there is tanween of dhamma. And if we break the sound of it like this, ba, dhamma, noon, bun, kitabun. So yes, there is a noon sakin hidden here as well. So yes, what you need to remember for now is that you are supposed to be looking at the noon sakin whenever it comes at any word, okay? And also you are going to see dhamma, kasra, and fatha tanween as well, because they have also noon sakin hidden on them. And so what will happen is that these four possibilities are common to noon sakin or any tanween of these three, okay? So we will sometimes hide the sound of tanween, like new. We might do this, okay? And sometimes we kind of join the sounds like we did here in. So these are four possibilities, both common to noon sakin and tanween.